Val, I'm going to start this episode by embarrassing myself.
Really, Em? Well, that's the best way to learn a language, no? Isn't it?
Absolutamente. Today, friends, I'm going to be sharing my top 3 Spanglish fails. Spoiler alert, they involve concerts, highways, and bathroom tiles.
Okay, I can't wait. This is super exciting. But before we dive into it, amigos, today is a very special episode because we've hit episode 30 of the Spanglish Friends podcast.
And it's not just any episode, it's our very first video episode.
Amazing. Which means that this is the first time you can see us, we can talk to you directly, and you can hear us as well as we are chatting.
Yes, it's going to be very fun, it's going to be messy, it's going to feel very real, just like learning any language.
It's true. This is very new for us. And if you're new in this podcast, welcome, bienvenido. Today we want to reintroduce ourselves, explain how Spanglish Friends began, and then dive into M's top fails in Spanish so we can learn, we can have fun, and also avoid these mistakes in the future, hopefully.
So stick around porque this episode is going to be muy divertido.
Exactamente. So, comencemos.
Welcome to Spanglish Friends, the podcast for true beginner Spanish learners.
Hola amigos, I'm Val, your experienced Spanish teacher and co-host from Venezuela.
And I'm Em, your Australian co-host who's been learning Spanish for 10 years.
We'll help you get confident listening and speaking beginner Spanish with content you can actually use in real-life conversations.
Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on socials at Spanglish_Friends. Let's get started.
Comencemos. I can see you, and this is amazing.
Can see you, Val. Te veo.
How amazing. Welcome again to episode 30 of the Spanglish Friends podcast. Not just our episode, but also our first video, amigos.
This might be your very first time tuning into our podcast, so welcome. Let's introduce ourselves properly, Val.
Exactly. So, amigos, I'm Val, your co-host and Spanish teacher in this podcast.
Yes, and I'm Em, your Australian co-host. I'm a native English speaker who's been learning Spanish now for 10 years.
Along the way, for the last 5 months, we have been recording episodes. Right now, we are at episode 30, but normally they were with audio. Just audio, streaming on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcast. And right now we have decided to create our first video episode.
Yes, and our name, Spanglish Friends, well, Spanglish is a combo word, a mix of Spanish and a bit of English, right? That naturally is what is happening when you're learning a language. You're combining two together. So this is naturally just how Val and I talk. So it just fit the idea for our podcast so perfectly.
Exactly. We chat in Spanglish often, almost every day.
Siempre.
And since we launched in March 2025, oh my God, a lot of time ago, we've hit around 150 listeners, regular listeners, and they are from all around the world, which is very exciting and amazing. From the UK, Australia, US, Ireland, and more countries.
Canada, yes. And every now and
Canada.
again, we like to take a break from our regular structured theory lessons to just lean in and do something fun, right? Because language learning should be fun.
Exactamente. And today's episode, one of those episodes that we want to have fun and share a bit about ourselves, practice a little bit also in Spanish. Now, let's share a bit about who we are.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So I started learning Spanish because I have family that live in Chile, including a nephew who's now 10 years old. I wanted to build and ultimately have a relationship with him, right? I knew that he wasn't going to know English for a number of years, so I wanted to be able to speak with him in his language. So I started learning Spanish when I was studying business at university. I learnt Spanish completely separately at night school. I started taking classes once a week, and then during the pandemic, I switched to classes online with tutors online. And in 2024, I did a awesome 6-month trip across South America, visiting places like Chile, Argentina, Peru, y Colombia. And this really helped boost my Spanish confidence and fluency. In my spare time, I love dancing. Salsa dancing and bachata dancing are things that I really enjoy. They've been a big part of my life. And I'm a huge musical fan as well in my free time. Val, why don't you tell them a bit about yourself as well?
I love your story, Em. Okay, amigos, I'm Val. I'm originally from Venezuela, but currently I'm living in Chile. And I've been teaching Spanish for many years now, like I think 4 years now. And as well, I learned English 4 years ago as well, because I wanted to be able also to help my students with their language learning journey, be able to translate. In my free time, I like dancing as M. I love Latin music, contemporary music as well. And currently I'm learning Italian. I started to learn my third language. I wanted to learn Italian. And this reminds me a lot how difficult can be to learn from the beginning a language, which helps me to connect with my students during the week and understand them better. That sometimes it can be the struggle in the beginning. And yeah, so I'm in the same path again. I'm starting to learn a language from scratch again.
So inteligente, Val. I don't know how you do it, but Val and I actually both met during my trip across South America in 2024. She became my Spanish teacher, and very soon after, we became very close friends. She is really mi mejor amiga, my best friend.
Exactly. And there was one day, Em called me. She was, Val, I have to call you. And I was, what happened, Em? And then she said, Val, I had a dream that we were doing a podcast where we were teaching Spanish. What do you think? The funniest part is that 2 weeks ago, I don't know if you're going to believe me, but 2 weeks ago, before Em called me, I had a dream also that we were doing a podcast. It was not specifically about Spanish, but I had a dream that we were doing a podcast and we were having fun and things like that. And then she called me after 2 weeks and she said that, and I was okay.
It
We
is,
have to
it
do
is,
it.
it is fate. It is destiny. It was a premonition. It had to be. So that's how Spanglish Friends came to be. Now, there are a lot of podcasts for language learning out there, particularly Spanish learning, which say they are supposedly for beginner learners. But what makes Spanglish Friends different?
Exactly. And amigos, here is when we want to tell you our big 3 commitments to you.
Yes, commitment number one is that we are a podcast that is for true beginners, right? So many podcasts claim to be beginner friendly, but then less than 2 minutes in, they are talking in pure rapid fire Spanish, right? It's overwhelming, right? We are promising to keep things accessible and simple for you.
That's why we have 95% of our episodes in English. And if we speak in Spanish, we want to directly translate and explain everything step by step clearly so you can understand it from the beginning.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
idea.
One of my favorite reviews that we've received so far was actually left on one of our Instagram posts, which said, you are actually the first beginner's Spanish podcast, true beginner's Spanish podcast that I've found. Others just jumped straight into Spanish. That's verbatim. So that made our day because that is exactly what we are aiming for with Spanglish Friends.
Exactamente. We love that comment because it's the idea, that it's the goal we want to reach. And commitment number 2 is that we want to keep things by side. Okay, this means that we know every day can be busy. You are busy, probably you're working, being with your family, with your kids, and we understand that probably 10 minutes of full theory can be very overwhelming. Okay, that's why we want to keep things practical, give you practical material things and words, vocabulary, grammar that you can actually use. And it's not going to be overwhelming. You can get that 3 things for one day or a week, and you can step by step improve your journey along the way.
That's right. No more than 10 minutes of theory at a time. And our third promise to you, Spanglish friends, is that we are huge on progress, right? We want you to feel like you're progressing with every episode you listen to. Every episode, we have a short conversation in Spanish where we start to build on your learning each week. We break the conversation down line by line later on, and we give you all the theory you need to understand each conversation. So we set a weekly challenge as well so that you can actually put into practice what you're learning each week, and we can shout out, promote those in our community who are getting involved and leveling up their Spanish skills.
Exactamente, amigos. It's not just that you listen to the podcast, but actually week by week, you grow your Spanish skills. That's the idea.
Yes. So these are our 3 promises to you, amigos.
Okay, and now that we have told a little bit about ourselves, our commitments, tell us your 3 top fails. Let's get this fun episode started officially.
My top 3 Spanglish fails. Honestly, this has happened so many times to me, but I've just picked today 3 of my worst fails, and I share them because making mistakes when you're learning a second language is completely normal. In fact, that's how you learn best, through your mistakes. You will remember something so much better once you've messed it up. I can guarantee this for all of the examples I'm sharing today.
It's true. Don't know why, but it's true. And mistakes are part of the process of learning a language, amigos.
And let's start with fail number 1, shall we? This fail comes from the verb atender. Okay, now this is a mistake I make over and over and over again in Spanish, and my profe Val will attest to this, right? English speakers, you would think the verb atender, does it mean to attend, right? You might think that. Well, no. Okay, atender actually means to look after someone or something, to attend to that person or thing, right? The verb asistir is actually the correct verb, which I need to use, which means to attend something. So I've said to Val, for example, voy a atender el concierto. Like, I'm going to attend the concert, which was a complete fail. I should have used asistir.
Exacto. Yes, and because actually, if you say to me, voy a atender al concierto, I feel like you're going to look after, like you're going to take care
of the concert. Poor concert. And it's funny because when I hear the verb asistir, in my head, I'm thinking asistir sounds like in English, assist, right? If you're assisting someone or helping someone, but that doesn't mean to help someone, to assist someone. If you want to assist someone in Spanish, you need to say ayudar, which is to help someone out with something. So these friends are what we call falsos amigos. These are false friends. They're words that sound similar between languages, but have completely different meanings.
the perfect example. Totally.
So let's talk fail number 2, which is the verb excitar, okay? So let me give you some context for this one. So in January 2024, I was staying with a friend in Argentina, right? I was staying with her and her family, and I was talking to her dad in full-on Argentinian Spanish about how highways are built in Australia. So mind you, this was already testing my Spanish skills late at night. And I was saying that, you can exit the highway, you can exit this way. And I was saying like, puede exitar la autopista, like you can exit it here. But the verb exitar in its completion means like to be aroused. So that is not the right verb. And my friend eventually, she just stopped me and said, actually, I think you want to say salir, like to exit.
Salir. Claro.
Exit the highway. And I was like, oh, Dios mío.
I'm pretty sure that driver was looking at you like, what?
What?
What are you saying?
He was so nice.
Thank God your friend corrected you. Oh my God. So, amigos, use salir to say exit. You don't want to say exitar because that's not the context. That's not what you want to mean and say in those situations, okay?
No, that's right. But hey, in hindsight, it will stick in my head forever now and I won't get them confused. So finally, my 3rd Spanglish fail, which is super random, is the word azulejos. Okay.
Azulejos,
And the reason,
okay.
azulejos. Now, if you don't know what azulejos are. Context for this one is I was in Chile. I was staying with some family in their apartment and they had a handyman working in the kitchen and he was renovating the kitchen. And he was talking to me in some pretty, again, rapid fire Chilean Spanish, which was already blowing my mind. And he was talking about what they were going to do to the kitchen, the different renovations. And he kept saying like, los azulejos van aquí, los azulejos van aquí. I was like, what is this word? So I broke it down in my head. I'm like, okay, azul is a blue thing and lejos is far. It's like a far blue thing. And I'm like, what are they putting that's far and blue in this modern kitchen? I couldn't understand. It turns out, friends, the word azulejos means tiles, like bathroom or kitchen decorative tiles.
And you were the blue faraway things. Where are them?
Like,
what do you mean?
Like, where
I
are
just said tiles.
It's like, where are the blue things? What do you mean?
And the guy was there, right there.
These are not words that you would use as a beginner, right? Or a Spanish like learner normally, right? The word tiles. But hey, there you go. You'll never forget the word for tiles in Spanish is azulejos. It's not just some random blue thing.
Faraway blue thing. It actually exists. But I love these fails. Honestly, the azulejos are my favorites. The blue faraway thing, I'm going to keep it. I won't see tiles the same way. And mistakes are part of the process. As you can see right now, it sticks in your head forever. You will never forget it.
Never again.
Awesome, amigos. I think now we can do a small recap of the 3 top M's fails. So we can learn from them. Our first would be, as you said, atender doesn't mean to attend. If you really want to say that you're going to attend to a concert, for example, as gave us this example, you can say asistir instead. Asistir al concierto. Our second one, the verb excitar, doesn't mean to exit. Okay? If you want to say to exit something, you can say salir instead. Okay? I'm going to exit this place, the highway. Voy a salir de la autopista, de la calle, street, etc. And last one, azulejos doesn't mean the blue far away thing. It means tiles. Azulejos.
It does.
Tiles.
Nice. And now it's time, as always, for our Spanglish friend shout out of the week. Every week we shout out someone who's been commenting or participating in our retos of the week, our challenges of the week. So this week's shout out goes to Tommy, who participated in our reto on episode 28, episodio 28. Who answered, ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? What do you do in your free time? And he said, En mi tiempo libre me gusta practicar golf. Okay, and this was a perfect answer in Spanish. Well done, Tommy.
Tommy, thank you. Muchísimas gracias por participar en nuestro reto. Thank you so much for getting involved in our reto. And amigos, do you want a shout out in an upcoming episode? Then get involved in our reto of the week.
Yes, and that is we want you to share in the comments your own Spanglish fails, right? It could be a word you always get mixed up, or a time you accidentally said something embarrassing that you didn't mean, or just any kind of funny mix-up when you were speaking. So post your answers in the comments. We'll be reading them this week. Let's laugh together.
Awesome. Before we wrap things up, let's give you a little spoiler of episode 31.
Yes, we're going to be teaching you how to talk about the things you're going to do in the future, like your plans. Like, I'm going to go to the cinema, or I'm going to go out. How do you say these things in basic Spanish?
Exactamente. Super useful to talk about things you are going to do, very practical. You can use every day. This has been our first video episode.
Yes!
We did it. It was amazing.
We've powered through. We've really enjoyed it. And we hope you've also enjoyed getting to know Val and I just a little bit better today, plus relishing in my Spanglish fails as well. Hasta la próxima, Spanglish friends. Ciao, ciao.
Hasta la próxima, amigos. Thank you so much for listening and watching us. We are going to see you soon. Ciao.
Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Spanglish Friends. We're both so proud of the time you're investing to level up your Spanish skills.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, follow us, leave a rating, or tell a friend about the show. It helps our awesome community grow.
Join fellow beginner Spanish learners by following us on Instagram and TikTok at Spanglish_friends.
Congratulations on taking another step in your Spanish learning journey.
Hasta la próxima, amigos.